Hello, my friends. It's been a hot minute. Your face, Megan, your face. I am back after a year of not uploading, and I'm here with my sister, who we will be calling Personna.
Hi.
This is exciting. I haven't been here for a while. And if you know the image here that I'm screen recording for this video, then you will, and you read the title, you will obviously know we are reviewing The Last Guardian today. And that is awesome because this game was great.
It was super good.
It was amazing. So, today we're going to be going over a bit of stuff. Just to tell you our thoughts on how the game is and how good we think it is. I think it's the best game I've played this year and probably ever. There are a lot of nostalgic games, but this game is like the best. So,
it's the first game you've ever finished.
It is the first game I've ever finished. Usually when I start a game, I just mess around on it and go to the next. So this is the first game I've actually fully completed. So that's pretty great. I didn't actually earn all the trophies though. I thought there were no trophies, but then I found out that there were more than I thought there were. So I didn't actually fully complete it, but... Alright, so I think I'm going to start with giving a basic rundown of the story, because I'm sure some people here have not played the game or watched a gameplay walkthrough of it. So, would you like to take the stage or?
Oh, no, this is your podcast.
Podcast. Well, yeah, I guess it is a podcast. So, basically, you play as this boy who me and Personna here dubbed Janky Boy. And the reason we called him that is because he's very janky when he gets on Treecko. So basically,
also he likes to jump off high places when you don't want him to.
Yeah, he likes to do that a lot. It's annoying. So basically, you wake up with this giant beast next to you. That's kind of just the beginning, and you gotta coax this beast into not trying to absolutely swallow you whole. And so once you do so, you realize this creature is called a Treecko. We call him Treecko, though.
Well, at least that's what the boy calls him. He doesn't really know what he's called either.
Yeah. So the boy calls him a Treecko. I'm pretty sure he has heard of him.
Yeah, it's possible. His village knew about the creatures stealing boys. That's a little ahead. But knew about that these creatures steal children. So maybe that's what they dubbed them.
The Treeckos.
But what the word means in that language, I don't know.
So basically you go on this quest to like kind of escape the nest that this Treecko lives in. So that way you can kind of you can go back home and Treecko can be free. Because, well, the Treeckos, you'll find out later on, are mind controlled. I won't reveal what yet because we're going to get into that later. But they are mind controlled, and Treecko, you freed him from such mind control.
But he's injured, so that's why he can't just immediately take you out.
So you kind of got to travel through these puzzles. You got to jump across tiny ledges, which, let me tell you, I was bad with camera angles when I played. Oh my gosh, the credits, when they had the images, all my horrible camera angles showed up, and that was hilarious.
Well, it's funny because I spent most of the game on Treecko. Like, I liked sitting on him while, he ran around. And looking back, that was harder to do. It's much easier to just lead him around because he'll follow you. It's harder to sit on him and point in the direction because his AI doesn't know where to go.
Is an actual animal, so if you sat on an animal and it wasn't a horse or something...
Even a horse, if a horse doesn't want to do something, it won't do it.
It probably won't know where to go.
Right.
So, that's why Treecko was so hard to control throughout this game. So basically, everything is janky, including the camera.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's just super janky.
What was your favorite part of the game?
That's hard.
Really?
That is hard to pick, because this game is chock full of
You can
great
just
moments.
say Treecko is your favorite part of the game.
Yeah,
Everything
Treecko's my favorite.
Treecko.
Yeah. If Treecko weren't in this game would be horrible. Because it wouldn't even be anything. Treecko is like the main center of it all.
It would be a very quiet, almost weird game if there wasn't Treecko and you had to kind of run around on these ledges and stuff. Like, even if there was a way to get around, it'd be a very quiet game if he was just running around.
You just gotta...
escaping.
Don't take for granted about all of Treecko's weird noises. Just enjoy them. Because if...
They're good animal noises.
Yeah. If he weren't there, then this would be like a silent, occasional music game.
But you do most of the talking, yelling at him and stuff.
Well, yeah, but I like his noises. It's just cute.
Yeah. I don't like when he cries, makes those crying sounds.
It's sad.
So I don't understand why he's upset half the time.
I'm like, why are you upset, Treecko? What have I done to make you sad? Yeah, that really made me sad.
Yeah.
Because I would be like, what's wrong, Treecko? Okay. I said I was going to do pros and cons, but there aren't much to go over.
What was something that you didn't enjoy about the game?
That's hard.
The jankiness?
The jankiness was funny, Megan.
Was it?
Yeah, that was funny.
You didn't like the bad guys, though.
Yeah, the suits of armor. So there are these suits of armor in the game that have spirits inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they chase after you. So when they chase after you, I swear, I start freaking out. And she was next to me almost the entire time of my gameplay. So almost every single time, a suit of armor would show up, I would just hand the controller to her because I got so freaked out. It was like they weren't even scary, but it's like they come up so flipping randomly sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you'll be walking through a hallway and thinking you're safe, and then they just, hello, and come out and try to chase you. So it's kind of freaky. There were a bunch of moments where I just could not handle it and handed the controller to her. There was this one moment where I handed her the controller because so many suits of armor. It was that one where the horde was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
It was just so many. I thought that was the ending.
Yeah.
I thought that was the end.
Because Treecko was blocked by the eyes, so it was hard for him to get past that.
These glass eyes, they help in the mind control of Treecko's, and Treecko is afraid of them, so he'll stay away from them, and you have to destroy it. So me and Megan were going to destroy it, and a bunch of just suits of armor came out. There was an entire horde of them. It was huge. It was insane. And then Treecko just got over his fear of the eye for me. And that, I was screaming. Me and Megan were sitting here screaming in excitement. Because, well, Treecko had just come and saved my life, and it wasn't the ending to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty great. That just made me so happy. Sometimes I am so happy to see Treecko's face again. There are times where we will get separated and we'll have to get through to find a place for him to come in, and I will get so lonely because Treecko won't be there to make his little sounds and hang out with me, and I'll be like, where are you, Treecko? And it'll be like a sad symphony, and then he'll finally show up, and I'll be like, yay, you're back. And that always makes me happy. I don't know, Treecko just is happy.
He is happy.
He has a sad tale at first, but you make it happy, I guess.
And then it gets sad at the ending.
And then it gets sad at the ending again. We'll talk about the ending in a minute. That was so... Okay. I think we're gonna go on to the a more actual review of the story. So, we did touch on meeting Treecko and a bit of the midpoint, but not the end game at all. So, the beginning. If I had to talk about what I really loved about that, it was meeting Treecko in the first place. Although that was pretty crazy. I'm sure Janky Boy was very afraid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Really, that is what the beginning is.
And then building trust.
Yes, building trust. That was like the fun part, really. It was hard, but it was like the fun part because you knew Treecko was going to love you by the point you got his trust up. And when he loved you, you knew it was going to be great. Because, well, I love loving animals. And when animals love me, that's just even better. I really like the future Janky Boy narrations, too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, he's telling the story as you play it, because he's telling the story to children or
Who
other
found
people.
the shield that he uses on Treecko.
Which is really cool, because basically you're just playing out his flashback of the entire
Or you're playing
story.
out the story he's telling.
Yeah, you're basically just playing out what he's saying to the people. And that's really cool. I think that's a really clever idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, there was this drawbridge part at the midpoint that I was just like, you had to go through and to the drawbridge, I think without Treecko, right?
Which one? There's a lot of bridges.
It's this one big significant drawbridge, and the polygon walkthrough, it says the drawbridge.
Mm-hmm.
I think you had to go through there without Treecko,
Yeah.
but I could be wrong, because I did play this like a week ago or two.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I think the drawbridge part, that's like the one of the significant parts, because
Right.
it was pointed out in the polygon walkthrough. But that, it was somewhat hard, because I think there was a point where in the hallway, I might be getting moments mixed up, but
The
you had
drawbridge that I remember is the one where the Treeckos were fighting.
I think I'm remembering this part with rafters, and you had to go up, and then there were a bunch of guards in front of the door, and you had to let Treecko in. I think that's not the drawbridge part.
There were a lot of similar situations like that. Lots of bridges.
It's hard to pinpoint which one it
Yeah.
is when you don't remember exactly what happened.
Right. It
But-
was a lot of very similar puzzles.
Yeah.
Just set up in different ways.
But there was this rafters part, not at the drawbridge, but just randomly. And you had to go through each section and climb the rafters, then go down past the guards and open the door for Treecko. And I got past the first one with a mistake. I fell down from the rafters on accident because I fell onto a broken one, and I fell down. And I went past the guards and opened the gate before they could catch me. But then the moment Treecko got in, one grabbed me. I escaped that, and then Treecko destroyed them all.
Yeah.
Not too hard, but it was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, I made an even worse mistake. I kept on dying because I made the same mistake twice. I fell down not because of a broken rafter, but because I just was jumping to another rafter and accidentally missed, because I am horrible with camera angles and horrible at jumping in this game, because Janky Boy. So I fell again, and this time I was way too close to the guards.
Right.
Thankfully they didn't see me, but like I was just going crazy, and so I raced over to the chain after like sneaking past them, and they saw me too early, so I just kept on pulling, and then they all crowded around me, and Treecko could not get in.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to restart that, and then I did it a second time, and I think I was super close to getting Treecko in, and then it just failed.
Mm-hmm.
And see, it save pointed at the part after I fell, so that was really annoying.
Yeah.
And then the third time I finally got it, and Treecko got in right at the nick of time. I was like about to be
Taken.
whatever it is, and Treecko just jumped in and destroyed them all.
Yeah.
This is another part where I am very thankful for Treecko in this game.
Right.
If he were not in it, in this game, I would be dead 1,000 times over.
Aww.
So many times.
Right.
Those slow-mo Treecko grabbing you and saving you.
Yeah.
Those are like some of my favorite parts, but then I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, and it grabs you.
The boy couldn't have gotten free without Treecko, and Treecko couldn't have gotten free without the boy. So.
Alright. Any other, moments, significant things you can think of?
Only the ones towards the end, or at the end.
Yeah. There are these moments where you have to feed Treecko. Like,
the Treecko treats.
He sits down, and he won't budge until you go grab a Treecko treat. Accidentally placed in this place where you gotta do a bunch of puzzling.
Right.
Which is really annoying. Most of the time, it includes throwing the Treecko treat onto ledges and then...
catching them before they fall.
Catching them. And this was like 3 times, I think. Right?
Yeah.
And so the first time, it was pretty hard. You gotta throw them on one ledge, the next, and then you're under this rail. And I made a different way to get up there. There was this one specific way Polygon did it, but then I did it a different way than most people will do it.
Yeah.
To get it up there a little bit easier, it required more steps, but it
worked.
Basically guaranteed you got it up there. If you accidentally jumped and knocked it down, definitely gotta restart, but otherwise you should be good. So that was hard, but like Megan just totally got angry at that thing. She was like, and I had to do it, and that was difficult, but I got through it. And honestly, I'm kind of glad you handed me the controller back, because I that was practice.
It means more when you play the game and you achieve stuff.
Yeah, it does.
Because I feel like if I had watched it, I would have felt more like I was just kind of like watching a movie. When I was playing it, I felt more connected to the story.
The moment I was done, it felt like I had just watched a movie.
Right.
Like a really long movie.
But you feel more connected to the boy and Treecko if you're the one playing it.
If you watch it, it's just somebody else's retelling of the story. It's somebody else's experiences. Somebody else's tries and attempts. This one is your own.
It's like if you draw a picture, you have a better connection of it to it than if someone else drew the picture and you were just looking at it.
Yeah.
You know?
So, that was the first time. It was hard, but it was not as hard as the other ones. The second time, I don't exactly remember what happened. I think it was just similar, but without the railing and stuff like that.
Right.
It was just throwing it on the ledges. The third time was really annoying, though. I remember handing this one to you because it was hard and you knew how to do it. It was the one with the guard in it, 2 cages. It was closer to the end, where you had to get into these little elevator cage things. And you went down, and there was a guard down there near the Treecko treat. See, you can't jump or really run that fast when you're holding the barrels. So, like, it was super hard for me and her to evade this suit of armor, mostly her because I didn't really do it, without being grabbed quite a few times. It took quite a few attempts for her to get into the elevator, but then we did it, and Treecko was satisfied and full. Man, those are the only parts I really don't like about this game. They're fun, they're cool, but like,
yeah,
you're glad when they're done.
Yeah.
You're the happiest person when they're done. It's like, just so dang hard. Especially the third one. I saw you struggling quite a bit. I'm sorry for that. I should have done it.
It's okay.
I should have done it, but I couldn't. I swear I couldn't get away from that one guard. I just hated it.
Right.
Those guards are just... You want to talk about the end?
Yeah.
I do. That's the one I remember the most fondly because, well, it's the end.
Yeah. Because we both started crying.
Yes. Okay, we'll tell this. So, when you get to the end, you're jumping on a bunch of platforms, and I found that once you got to this, Treecko finally flew a pretty long distance, and I was very happy for him.
His wings had grown back because of the Treecko treats.
And that's pretty great. It was because of the Treecko treats?
Well, in story, they would have come back anyway, but it's kind of alluded to that when you feed him, he's getting stronger. He's getting his strength back.
Ah, okay. That makes much more sense.
There's only a few situations where you have to feed him.
And that's the 3 we just talked about.
Right.
I think there's only 3. I only remember 3. I'm pretty sure.
There's times where he would sit there and not move unless you went and found one, but they were way easier to get. They weren't platformers.
They weren't like puzzles or anything.
Yeah.
They were just like, go grab it.
Go locate one.
Go look in this like very obvious little nook.
Right.
Grab it and bring it back to him.
Yeah.
So, the ending. You got to this big white tower. Mm-hmm. And, you traverse through it. There's this mini puzzle, not really mini, where you got to do something with the shield. You get
you have to put the shield into different places, different places where it fits in, but you have to get away from the guards who pop out of the places holding the shields first.
The mirror creates guards, I guess. It completes them.
Well, no, they popped out before the shield went in. They were blocking it.
Yeah, they were blocking it. Okay, I was remembering.
The shield controls Treecko's tail.
Yes, I wonder why.
I don't know. I believe a lot of the technology, I guess, that existed, or at least whatever was going on before you got there, has kind of fallen into ruin and disrepair. And I think the Treeckos being controlled by the Master of the Valley and these knights coming to life are like the last bits that still work. A lot of the places, unused and fallen apart. And
you're right, there's a lot of ruins within the place we explore.
Right, so it almost feels like you're kind of going through this place that hasn't been used in a long time, that the Treeckos, even though they're controlled, they still kind of do what they were set to do. Find kids, bring them back, feed them into the thing, and then eat the barrels. But otherwise, I feel like whatever the Master of the Valley was doing with all the guards and whatever they were doing beforehand is over, because you see that kind of human-shaped or person-shaped tomb under there, and I think that's where the Master of the Valley, who's dead now, resides. But I think their control over the Treeckos still exists.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you get through it and complete the puzzle, and you find this thing called the Master of the Valley alone, I do believe. And this Master of the Valley, which I keep calling Valley of the Master on accident, controls all the Treeckos. And as Megan just said, she theorizes that the tomb we see earlier, before the Master of the Valley room, is
towards the very beginning when you first get the mirror.
Yeah, is the Master of the Valley.
Or at least their body.
Wait! Aren't you in the white place when you get the mirror, at least in front of it? Because I recognize seeing it at the end and the beginning.
Well, I think the Master of Valley's body, and I think the thing that controlling the Treeckos may be in 2 different places.
Oh, okay, then that's why I got that mixed up.
It's kind of like a satellite that's going off and has frequencies that control the Treeckos.
Yeah, I saw that. So, you get to the Master Valley and gotta kind of deplete it so you can get up to the top. There's this weird black goop stuff.
Yeah.
That you gotta like hold back with the mirror.
Yeah, so you can climb up the gating around it.
Yeah, and get to the very top of the tower, which is when all the craziness happens.
Yeah.
Treecko gets up there, and then, the thing starts ringing. There's this weird tower signal thing. And all the Treeckos, which are called Treeckopaths because they're controlled, I really like that name for some reason, come straight to the tower. And they put people with the same writing that's on Janky Boy into this weird penguin statue.
It's kind of like a bird-ish looking statue.
Penguin thing.
And then they come out as the Treecko treats.
Yeah, so basically the Treecko treat barrels have been people all along.
Yeah. You've been feeding Treecko people.
That's what Janky Boy was supposed to be.
Yeah.
At least he wasn't.
Yeah. Because Treecko was hit by lightning and his wings got fried and he got injured.
Oh
but that caused the helmet that was on his head that was allowing him to be controlled to break, so he could think for himself rather than the other Treeckopaths who were being forced to attack him.
So, basically, they all these Treecko come down and start attacking Treecko. And you drop your mirror in the midst of all this.
Right.
So you have to go find the mirror so you can, like, use Treecko's tail to do something. I forgot what it was.
Well, Treecko's tail gets ripped off.
Oh, yeah, Treecko's tail gets ripped off.
But you use the tail to injure the Master of the Valley underneath.
So you go find your mirror, get picked up by a Treecko path, which freaked me out. The flip. I couldn't be any more scared. I was like, Janky boy be dead. Janky boy be dead. This boy, he's a goner. He is a goner. I was freaking out. Just all the way, and then after this.
Meanwhile, Treecko's being just bombarded
tortured
by the other Treeckos.
So you finally get put back down after this long cinematic moment of being flown around, and then you go find your mirror again, which freaked me out because this Treecko pass was chasing me, and then you use Treecko's ripped off tail to destroy the master, the Master of the Valley, and boom, you're done. Except, no, you're not done. So once you've destroyed the Master of the Valley, I was about to say Valley of the Master again, I guess Treecko picks you up and...
Yeah, you're like...
Yeah, he picks you up.
Unresponsive.
Yeah, you get injured, I guess, or something happens. And
it drains your strength. You're like very pale and kind of sickly after you defeat it. So he
takes you to your home village again, and he returns you to your people only to be attacked. I guess they don't understand that he was trying to save your life, but they just started throwing spears at him, doing all this stuff, and it just.
And then what do you have to do?
It hit me hard, and this was even worse. So somebody's holding you in Janky Boy in their arms, and you're Janky Boy's somewhat awake, and as Treecko is being attacked, you tell him, you press the button you usually use to. Sorry for that. So what was I saying? You have to press the
button that you use to call him to you.
The button that you use to call him usually, and tell him to leave. And the moment that she told me that I had to press that button repeatedly, more than once, I was staring at the screen, wide-eyed. I was like, what do I have to do? And she said that, and I pressed the button once, and she said more, and I continued pressing the button. And as I pressed the button, I started tearing up. I couldn't take it. That was the most emotional part. To have to say to something that you have grown to love, to care for, to cherish, to leave. It was for his own good, but that was a struggle, a real struggle. And just to press a button.
Right.
I couldn't do it.
But the post-credit scene...
Oh yes, let's talk about that post-credit scene. So after the credits roll and all my horrible camera angles show up, and I start tearing up a second time, because all my wonderful moments with Treecko, his saving, his rescuing my life, saving my life, just all this stuff. After seeing it all again, it was as if I had only watched a movie. It's as if that after I had done all that, all I did
But how'd you feel about the post-credit scene?
Was watch a movie. So, the post-credit scene. Janky Boy is all grown up. He's Janky Man, as Megan says. And I think 3 or 4 kids find
the shield and ask him about it.
Yeah, they find the mirror and ask Janky Man about the story with Treecko, and he starts recounting the tale of him and Treecko's adventure, and that was just so bittersweet. And then he raises the mirror up, and the signal is sent to some place.
Back to the valley.
I was about to say that. It goes back to the valley where you adventured with Treecko, and it goes into this den. It's like this little area.
The very first place you guys met.
The big eyes of good old Treecko and a little Treecko.
Little baby Treeckos.
A little baby Treecko shows up, and that's where the game ends. And it shows the final credits, and that's that.
So a baker's dozen is 13, right?
No, it's 12.
No, a baker's dozen is always 13.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So how many cookies do you give this game out of a baker's dozen of 13?
Dude, I give it 20.
20 cookies out of 13.
I give it more than 13. I give it 20.
Okay, 20 cookies out of 13.
20. It gets 20.
And what do you think you'll play the other games that the people have made?
I think I'll play Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. And the moment those are done, we're doing another review.
Yeah. Well, Shadow of the Colossus is all boss fights, so I assume that I'm going to be upstairs playing the game for you.
No, I'll play it.
Ico is much more like
Last Guardian.
Last Guardian, except you are in the position of protecting someone else versus
Treecko
protecting you. Yeah. So, and Ico is my all-time favorite game.
Definitely.
So,
hopefully it's not as janky as Janky Boy was.
I don't recall it being.
Hopefully it's smooth.
A lot less jumping off of high areas and stuff like that, if I recall. Yeah. It's been a little while since I played it, but...
Well, thank you for doing this review with me.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast.
This was
the Cookie Cutter.
This was 30 minutes.
Wow.
This was longer than I expected.
We should probably cut off before we eat all the space on your tablet.
No, it'll be alright.
Okay.
I deleted quite a bit of stuff before making this. But, yeah, we're calling this the Cookie Cutter, thanks to my brother. He gave that amazing title. So, thank you for watching our review of The Last Guardian.
Play it.
Yes, please play it. Tell me what you think of it. If this was great, also recommend the Polygon walkthrough of this game. It's very helpful.
And don't be afraid to use walkthroughs because this game can be kind of confusing sometimes.
This game needs a walkthrough.
It has about a dozen, but
it was definitely a difficult game. Mm-hmm. I would not have gotten through it without my sister here and without Polygon. So thank you. I'm not sponsored. Polygon did not sponsor me. I'm just saying.
It's just a helpful guide.
Thank you for watching Double K Cookie. Thank you for watching the Cookie Cutter. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.